Hi, LiberAnarchy here, responding to God is Real 101. The Atheist is Angry. I am actually going to go through the entire poem, so fair warning. Let me preface this by saying, okay, the government borrows money to pay off debt. Do you really and truly want an endorsement from these people? Do these people make you look good? Having said that, when all pretense is thrown out, government is force. What does it say about your religion if you want it to be endorsed by force? Alright, now let's respond to this point by growing point. I should also say I do consider myself a theist, not atheist, but a space theist. I consider myself a pantheist and probably a naturalistic pantheist, but I'm not sure about that. And I do feel let's say I feel an affinity for the Germanic pantheon. And beyond that, I don't know why exactly, but it's just an affinity. And even if I don't believe in external deities, it doesn't necessarily mean that the symbolism does not speak to me and that I don't find it somehow edifying to participate in some aspects of those beliefs. Even if I don't believe literally, I want you to know where I stand. Because I think that it's fair. Not because I think that you care, particularly. Okay, here we go.
The atheist is angry when God is mentioned in school.
It depends on the school. Is it a private parochial school? Or is this a school funded with the money that's taken from theists and atheists alike, and theists who are different religions, and the only reason that we are paying is because if we don't, we will get fined more, and if we don't pay that, we will be put in a cage, and if we don't go to the cage, we will eventually be shot. Basically, this is not money that people are giving to school. This is money that's taken from all the rest of us and put into public schools, meaning that if you're mentioning God in a public school beyond, academia, like, like talking about, say, missionaries going to the New World or something, or, talking about biblical references in Shakespeare, etc. Beyond, what's happening is the rest of us are forced to give our hard-earned money to teach children things that we believe are untrue. I would be unhappy if people were mentioning Hindu beliefs beyond actually talking about things like in countries like India and Bangladesh and maybe the Kashmir region and conflict over that and so on and so forth, because Hinduism and Islam obviously play a part in those. So yeah, talk about those religions, talk about Christianity if you're going to talk about, say, the Inquisition or the Reformation, but just teaching children religion isn't what was paid for. It would be like if somebody, it would be like if a teacher mentioned LaVeyan Satanism and started saying things like, like saying that willful stupidity is a sin. Now, if there are any sins, willful stupidity, in my opinion, is certainly a sin, but but it'd be like if you sent your child to school that you did not choose, that you did not know, for whatever reason, the teacher was teaching Satanism, and then you have a teacher teaching your child Satanism. It's not what you paid for. Okay.
The atheist is angry when someone says Merry Christmas.
No. Right off, I have to say there are a lot of atheists who are actually not angry about a lot of things. When the economy is tanking, some atheists will still take issue with "In God We Trust" on the money. Others will not care and will focus on the fact that the money is becoming worthless. I don't think "In God We Trust" should be on the money, because I don't think that it is true. It's certainly not true for everybody. It's true for some. It's probably true for you, but yeah. My point is, with things like Merry Christmas and "In God We Trust" on the money, not too many atheists are actually angry about it. In fact, there are a lot of atheists that just aren't very vocal. Unlike, many of the YouTube atheists who dedicate their channels to promoting, skepticism and reason and atheism and so on and so forth. Okay, but Merry Christmas. Okay, Happy Holidays. Christmas is in the subset of holidays, so your holiday is still included in that. So you're okay. People are still wishing you a Merry Christmas. If you were to say Merry Christmas to me, I would say Merry Christmas to you because that's what you celebrate. If I'm talking to somebody I don't know, or if I'm talking to a bunch of people I don't know, I will say Happy Holidays because everybody, I assume, is celebrating different holidays. I'm not going to be particularly offended if you say Merry Christmas to me, nor will I be offended if you say Happy Holidays or Happy Yule or Happy Saturnalia or any other thing. Festivus.
The atheist is angry when "In God We Trust" is on the dollar.
Yeah, I went through that, but it's which God? You have your idea of a God that you trust. Other people have different gods. You may not like that fact, but it is a fact, and other people do not have any gods.
The atheist is angry when someone says "God bless the United States."
That's another one. Not really. You're going to get somebody who is angry because they think that you're being stupid, but you're going to get a lot of people who think that, or a lot of atheists who simply think that you're mistaken and that you're saying something stupid, but don't necessarily get angry about it. If somebody tells me, "God bless you," I recognize that, hey, I'm in the South. I'm among a lot of theists, and the person is likely wishing me well, so I don't get offended. Now, there are people who say it in a very snide, derisive way, and even still, I don't care what those people think. They're not worth my time. Not worth the energy of being offended.
The atheist is angry when the 10 Commandments are seen on a wall in a courtroom.
Okay, 10 Commandments. The United States Constitution is not based on the 10 Commandments. In fact, many of the 10 Commandments reflect laws that existed in many societies and exist in many societies today, regardless of the religion. Having said that, the ones that do not really don't apply to American society. These are not laws that the courthouse is trying to enforce, and I do not want them to try to enforce these laws. For example, not taking the Lord's name in vain. That is a direct violation of the First Amendment to the Bill of Rights. of the Constitution, which this country was founded on. I mean, it's literally contradictory to have the Ten Commandments in a courthouse. So I actually do get offended by doing that, because they don't belong there. It would be like putting the Code of Hammurabi or on the wall of a courthouse, or it would be like putting the 5 pillars of Islam on the wall of a courthouse. It doesn't have anything to do with what the courthouse is actually doing, which is enforcing U.S. law, or the law of the particular state. Like, I'm in Georgia, it would be enforcing Georgia law, etc. Actually, interpreting the law, not enforcing, interpreting, but yeah. You get the idea.
The atheist is angry because there's a National Day of Prayer.
That used to irk me because it's stupid. Dude, if you want to pray, by all means, pray. Do it now. Nobody needs to flaunt it. If you're flaunting it, you're insecure. If you need the President of the United States to make a speech on the National Day of Prayer and have a prayer breakfast, it means you're insecure. If you're secure in your faith, pray. Hold your own local prayer breakfast. Goodness gracious, have you ever been to, say, a Baptist church? Yeah, I've been to a Baptist church. Oh my God, and the thing didn't fall over. But, they have the best lunches. If you're having like a Sunday lunch after service, they have the best fried chicken and deviled eggs and potato salad. Holy moly. So my point is, if you want all that, do it. Great. You don't need the government to tell you and to tell me that it's okay. So if people are angry about it because the government has no business saying, oh, today is a good day to pray. If I believe in prayer, if I am of any particular religion, I know when I want to pray. If there's particular holy days or anything like that, or I can just pray any day that I want to pray.
The atheist is angry because a nativity scene is displayed in a town.
Now, see, here's what happens. Atheists are not angry. This is regarding the nativity scene. When you have the neighbor's yard full of a nativity scene and a cross and a sign that says Jesus is Lord, nor is an atheist particularly angry. I guess some might be, certainly. I mean, you're always going to have somebody who's petty. But you're going to have, you don't have atheists complaining about, say, a menorah in the window of a Jewish household, or just somebody who is very secular and celebrates annual gift day and just has Christmas lights and Santa and all da. The problem here is that money, again, tax money that's taken from people who don't believe in Jesus, who don't believe in the nativity, or Mithras, whatever, who don't believe in your particular God, they're having money taken from them to put up something they don't believe in. That's what's wrong with these displays at City Hall. And as many people will point out, well, if you want to go by the Constitution, if you let one in, you got to let everybody in. And then you know what happens? Oh my goodness, it gets terrible. You get city halls with, you got your nativity scene, you got your menorah, you got your secular and free thinking groups putting up a sign that says there probably is no God. You get a pagan group putting up something like a tree, for solstice or something like that. You get Muslims putting up a star and crescent. You get jokers putting up flying spaghetti monster stuff, and it looks terrible. I mean, ugh. So here's a thought. Put this stuff on your lawns. If you don't have a lawn, put stuff on your windows. Or why even be showy about it? Put it just in your house or your apartment, or in the room in a house that you're renting or wherever you live. Why must it even be on display? And for that matter, why would you ever expect anyone to pay to display your beliefs? Sorry, what you're asking me to do is have money taken from me in order to fund promotion of your beliefs that are frankly opposed to my own beliefs.
The atheist is angry because city officials pray before a meeting.
Here's a thought. Those city officials who are praying before a meeting, why are they making a public display of it? Why not simply pray before they leave for the meeting? If they're so faithful, just pray on their own. Take 5 minutes out of your morning routine to pray. That's it. That's all you gotta do. You don't need to mess around making a big stink about what you believe. That's just egotism right there. And you won't even be honest about it and face up to it. It's just egotism. You're showing off is what you're doing. Well, maybe not you personally. I don't know you personally. But when a legislature is doing this, they're just showing off. Look how good and pious we are when we run your lives. Come on. Anyone who buys it is gullible, as gullible can be.
Atheist is angry because the U.S. Senate and House have chaplains.
Well, again, is money being taken from me to pay for a chaplain? I don't ever remember hiring a chaplain.
The atheist is angry because churches are tax exempt.
Money is taken from me by force. If I don't pay, I get taken to a cage. Why are the churches exempt? Why am I not exempt? Keep in mind the churches will use the services that taxes pay for, like fire departments and such.
The atheist is angry because the U.S. Armed Forces have chaplains.
Actually, no. Very few, if any, atheists are angry that the U.S. Armed Forces has chaplains. The anger here, as far as the military, is that there are some cases where soldiers are actually preached to. I did hear about a case. There was a lecture on Agent of Doubt's channel. The speaker told of a woman in the Air Force who was a great pilot, but who was studying very hard and getting very low scores on her tests. And finally she went in to talk to her superior officer and saying, "Where am I going wrong?" And the superior officer said, "Oh, well, you're going from the wrong book," and threw away the textbook and handed her a New Testament. So, yeah, there's cases like that. Look into the military's spiritual fitness program. There have been cases where soldiers who just didn't believe in God or just had a different belief system or something were forced to go to a Christian spiritual fitness program. And there is a culture in the armed forces, from what I hear, I have not been in the armed forces, but a culture of fundamentalist Christianity, at least at least in some parts, in some cases. And so there have been cases where soldiers of different beliefs have had their constitutional rights violated. Again, Agent of Doubt has a lecture on his channel all about this, so if you want to dig up his channel and dig up the lecture, which was fairly recent, it was like posted in the last month of the video that I'm posting now. So, yeah, so it's not anger at having chaplains for those who are religious, so much as it's anger at not the military not necessarily, in all cases, respecting other religions. Okay, moving right along. I lost my mouse arrow.
The atheist is angry when a memorial cross is on a hill that the government owns.
Again, because the rest of us are paying for it against our will. The rest of us are paying for something that is promoting beliefs that we don't hold. And in this case, it's just a grave site to memorialize a Christian, in which case you will find few, if any, atheists who are angry at that. Then again, is this just some hill somewhere that some state legislature decided, let's put a cross here, let's pay somebody to make the cross, and let's pay people to actually put it here with other people's money? How would you feel if your money was taken from you by force to, say, put up a statue of Thor? Or put up a statue of Cthulhu? I mean, something that you thought would be really crazy for other people to believe in. You'd be pretty angry about it. And rightfully so, mind you.
The atheist is angry when the president allows prayer at his inaugural.
The question here is why? Why is this part of the ceremony? Well, the real answer is just to pander to people's mystical ideas and try to legitimize the state and try to legitimize this particular president. It's a whole egotism. Look how pious I am kind of a thing. Again. It's because most of the constituency is Christian. When that changes, I'm thinking that the prayer will either change or won't be there anymore.
And the Bible is used for the swearing.
Okay, why is the Bible used for the swearing? That does make me angry, because there are things in the Bible, like Jesus telling slaves to obey their masters, that run very counter to the Constitution. Why isn't the president swearing on a Constitution? Hell, I'd like it better if he swore on a freaking oath ring. But I realize that other people would look at that and be like, well, that's kind of meaningless. To me, an oath ring being circular, it represents a wholeness of the community. Like if you keep your oath, you're keeping the community together, you're keeping your family together. In this case, you're holding the country together. It's healthy, it's whole. But other people aren't going to see it that way, so why should it be there? Why not swear on an American flag or swear on a plaque? But what I'd really like to see is for the president to swear on the Constitution to uphold the Constitution. I would hate for the United States to be run by the Bible, Old or New Testament.
The atheist is angry when God is mentioned in public or by a public official.
Again, this isn't something, where God is mentioned in public. You can say God all you want. God, 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 da 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 da, and my cat. Yeah. What do I care? So, very few atheists, if any, are going to be upset with you for mentioning God in public. There are rude people who get in people's faces and preach. And there are people who hand out what looks like dollar bills, and then they open them up, and it's Jesus tracts about how they're going to hell for not believing in a fairy tale, or about how the gay people are going to hell, or some other group that some other group of Christians doesn't happen to like. Oh, there are Christians who find extraordinarily rude and stupid, uncivil ways of saying God in public. Now, public official? Again, those are people who get our money against our will. All of our money. Whether we like it or not. Last I remember, I never hired any sort of chaplain or priest or reverend or whatever you call an Islamic cleric or holy person. I never hired a Hindu or a Buddhist monk or whatever the Baha'i, if they have any brand of clergy. I never hired them. I'm not here, I don't remember ever hiring anybody to tell me about the Bob. This isn't what we hired. In fact, we actually did not hire anybody. We just got to choose, do you want the whip to be red or do you want the whip to be blue? And then whatever we choose, we're not voting for the best religious leader. Some people, unfortunately, are, and that's very sad. But at least the idea is, the hope is, the framers of the Constitution hoped that we would be picking the best governor, the best official at prudently governing whatever jurisdiction.
The atheist is angry when a 9/11 cross is proposed at the New York Memorial.
Again, if it's done with money that we did not choose to pay, then why shouldn't we be angry? If I took money out of your wallet or voted for somebody to tell somebody else to take money out of your wallet, and then I spent it on something you did not believe in, why shouldn't you be angry? And even if in taking the money out of this issue, okay, first of all, girders are going to look like crosses. Yeah, it's gonna freak me out and shake my world up if the girders looked like a crescent moon and a star. But girders they're going to look like crosses. I'm trying not to swear here, but it's one of those things. It's like a ruler is going to look like a line. Oh my God! It looks like a line. It looks like a straight line, man. And it's like they're girders, dude. What else are they going to look like, man? Come on. Also, it's pretty tawdry. Hey man, let's use something horribly tragic in order to push our religion. Because let's face it, that's exactly what's going on. Let's dispense with any pretense. That's exactly what's going on. Oh, we're memorializing the Christians. How about memorialize the human beings? Because lots of different lots of human beings with lots of different religions died that day. So if you want to memorialize people, let's memorialize all the human beings, and let's keep preaching to other people about your religion out of it. I'm not saying you don't have the right to preach to people about your religion. You absolutely do. But you know what? It's not very classy to do that. Except, again, on your YouTube channel or on a blog or something like that. Or, invite people to your church or something. Say, hey, would you like a pamphlet? And if they say yes, hand them your little pamphlet, your little tract, whatever it is. But it really lacks a lot of class if you're trying to just insert your particular religious message in a memorial. I mean, that's just, ugh, it's slimy. It's underhanded.
Hey, Atheist. Why are you so angry?
Well, gosh, I also think this video plays off of a stereotype of the angry atheist. There are certainly angry atheists. There are atheists who make anger part of their shtick here on YouTube. There are atheists who are rather snide and derisive. On podcasts. There is a podcast called The Good Atheist, and The Good Atheist is pretty irreverent. The Amazing Atheist, he rants and raves. He gets angry. And, remember Captain Awesome, and there's also Fake Sagan. But there's a lot of other atheists around here with a lot of different techniques. Try listening to The Thinking Atheist. That is a podcast by some person who isn't angry. There is a YouTube show that comes on, I believe, every other Sundays. Or it's not YouTube, but it is a blog talk radio show. Shit, no, it isn't. It's Blog TV. Sorry, Blog TV. Blog TV show called The Magic Sandwich. They do get pretty irreverent, but they're not angry. If you call up, they're not going to be angry with you. Okay? They're going to argue with you, debate you, ask you why you believe what you believe. The Atheist Experience, that is a TV show in Austin, Texas. And they do make podcasts of it and such like. You can go to their site, visit their archives, but if you call them up, sometimes they do get angry with specific callers. For example, if you just start ranting and raving and refuse to actually converse, they will probably get angry with you and hang up on you. But if you are respectful of them and you are keen on having a nice counterpoint sort of discussion, and you are answering questions about your beliefs to the best of your ability, then they're not going to be angry with you. Now, having said that, there are other atheists who, if you interacted with them, sure, they're going to be really angry, and they're going to be mean, but you're going to get angry and mean people in every group. But yeah, I'm trying to think of more podcasts. There's Godless Bitches, which is about atheism, but also feminism. There's, and I don't believe they actually take calls, but, let's see, what else? There's a few others, but, yeah. I know I'm probably missing a few important ones. But, yeah. So, if you want to expose yourself to atheists that are not angry, there's tons of them. Tons of them. Yeah, okay, Thunderfoot is pretty snide. I don't particularly like him. he's an e-bagger. I don't particularly like him. Brett Keane. He published a magazine wherein he reviewed his own book and then said that his book was reviewed in a magazine. And he's an e-bagger. And now he's a Christian, as I understand it, but when somebody does that, I mean, you just don't know. And even if he was a Christian, that's not what I care about so much as the individual in question. My point is, yeah, there's atheists that are out there that are like that, of course. But if you want to avail yourself of atheists who are not angry, there are tons of them out there. Tons of them. A shit ton of them. Especially on YouTube. And I'm sure if you made a video asking for atheists who are not angry to interact with you, they would. Or if you want to make a video that's a little less arrogant than the one you put out, and you want to open up dialogue, even atheists who are angry at some of the things you talk about will open up a we'll open up a friendly dialogue with you and actually talk with you about why they feel the way that they feel and why they think the way that they think. And they will do it in a very civil and courteous way. But this video is really based on an assumption atheists are angry. Some are, but some people of every group are angry. And some are angry at some of the stuff you talk about and not others. Okay. So yeah, I would actually encourage you to keep asking questions. Although I would encourage you please to change your approach, because you're going to get further along if you change your approach. Okay, well, I'm finished with this really long, insane ramble thing. I thought I wasn't going to make many more YouTube videos other than showing you my cat or something. But apparently I am. And you know, I see a video like this and I have to respond. Alright. So, thanks very much for watching. For those of you who got through this entire thing, know thyself.